Now you might have read the title and said to yourself, what am I talking about here? Did I change sides or do I support one sex more than the other? Well no, I always hold a neutral position in this channel, where I think that at least. But what I want to talk about is the theory in quotes that women on average are more attractive than their counterpart men. And this is due to the flexibility in looks. That means they can look good fully neotenous, unlike men, which we will discuss today. They can still look good with masculine features or a mix of both that can go both ends. This is what I meant by flexibility. This video will be split into two parts like many of the others, so feel free to skip the desired part when you feel like it. The first part will be about neoteny and its explanation, and the second part will be about neoteny in the body and face. If you want to support the channel and get your face evaluated by me with personalized look magazine advice, link will be down in the description. Without further ado, let's get this video started. Neoteny or pleomorphism refers to an adult organism retaining childlike features. In humans, this means a roundish, soft face with large eyes, short nose, full lips and clear skin, but also overall a shorter and weaker stature. Neoteny is a highly desirable trait in women, and women are more neothenous than men in appearance, mentality and behavior. Women use makeup to enhance their neoteny by smoothing their skin and enhancing eye contrast. Compared to other mammals, humans are overall more neothenous, as evidenced by their lack of fur, small teeth, smooth skin, and large eyes, presumably as a result of self-domestication and selection. As a result, a fairly high amount of neoteny is normal and to some extent even unattractive in men, but presumably only as long as it's not outright feminine appearance regarding chin, nose, and eye region. So now that we know what neoteny is like, let's move on to the next section. Okay, so let's start with the neoteny differences when it comes to the body first before we move on to the face. The most obvious physical neothenous trait in women is their shorter stature. Even though men are only about 8% taller on average, this sex difference has a very large effect, meaning most men are taller than most women. Accordingly, women also have a weaker physique, especially a weaker upper body and thinner arms, leading to a large sex difference in lifting, grip strength, and especially in throwing. Of course, there's also a neoteny difference when it comes to head size to body ratio, but that's not as important. Let's move on to the most important one, the face. A neotenous face is marked by a high ratio of neurocranial to lower facial features, while also exhibiting a small nose and ears and full lips. Women's upper to lower facial height ratio is 1.23, while men is 1.07. Baby eyes are large relative to their overall body size. But while it is true that men are more sexually attracted to women with larger eyes, women's eyes are not actually larger than men's in absolute terms. Among Caucasians aged 20 to 40, men's eyes are actually slightly wider than women's, 28.7 give or take 2 mm, versus women's 27.7 mm give or take 2 mm. There is also no significant sex difference in exposed iris as a fraction of the overall eye area. However, due to women's smaller mandible and nose, women's eye appear proportionally slightly larger than men's. Women's nose is on the average around 12% less deep and wide than men's, but notably women's nasal height is only 3% shorter. Since human perception only estimates size relative to the context, not absolute sizes, larger eyes have presumably the same effect on men's sexual attraction as proportionally smaller noses and lower facial features. Women's teeth are slightly smaller, however, this difference is so small that even dentists cannot tell the difference. Women's teeth tend to be more quadrangular, which may be a neothenous tooth shape, while men's teeth are a bit more often triangular, resembling more canine teeth and the teeth of closely related pan. A more substantial sex difference than eye size is that women's eyes are rounder, while men's eyes tend to be vertically narrower and the corner of the eyes are more rectangular like hunter eyes. This might also make women's eyes appear larger. Another very noticeable sex difference in facial morphology is women's higher, thinner, and fainter eyebrows, which also appears to be neothenous and might highlight the eyes. This sex difference may stem from men's hunter eyes, which are framed by more pronounced brow ridges, which possibly have the purpose of protecting the eyes from sticks and claws during hunting. The higher eyebrows may also enable women to put on a more effective pouting and frowning expression. While men's forehead is slightly concave due to the brow ridge like it is found in apes, women's forehead is more smooth and round like that of a child. Women's less developed lower facial features are primarily evidenced by their lower facial depth being about 10% shorter than men's, i.e. lower distance from the chin to the ears and less forward growth owing to a shorter mandible, which is also narrower. Women's upper and lower lips are about 10% fuller and higher on average. Women also have a more subcutaneous fat in their faces and their entire bodies. Women are more baby-faced due to these fat deposits in their more developed buccinator muscles, which also contributes to making their faces appear rounder. These muscles being more developed in women has been suggested to be explained by women's greater propensity to smile. Smiling is a neoteny trait as well, with children smiling 20 times as often as adults. The large differences in accuracy classifying faces by sex between textured and non-textured faces suggests a substantial facial sexual dimorphism lies in facial texture, while primarily owes to women's lack of facial hair, thinner skin, and reduced creases due to their subcutaneous fat deposits. Once again, neoteny features. Another trait concerning the facial texture in women's higher facial contrast and facial contrast has been linked to perceived age, with the high facial contrast being a neoteny trait, potentially explaining why women use powder, eyeliner, and lipstick to trick men into believing they are young and fertile, in addition to powder smoothing the skin texture, making it appear like that of children. So yeah, I thought it is interesting to do a video talking about this and the technicalities of neoteny and sex differences. But what do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree with me? What are your thoughts? Feel free to tell me down in the comment section. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A like and subscribe will be highly appreciated. And like usual, catch you guys in the next one.